Hi, I'm Basrit, your friendly neighborhood TypeScript guy, and in today's lesson, I look at the most common error I find beginners experiencing when they start using literal types in TypeScript. Let's go. Let's start off with a simple example that shows how a beginner might experience this error. We have a type that has some literal member. For example, alignment can be the literal left, center, or right. And then we create a variable that we think would satisfy this type. However, when we try to assign this variable to something that does have this type, we get this error. The error message here is that the type string is not assignable to the type left, center, or right. And the reason why this can be confusing is because when we created the variable, we mentioned that align is going to be the value center. Then why are we getting an error that string is not assignable to something that can only be left, center, or right? Now the answer has to do with how TypeScript does its type inference. Let's say we have a variable foo that we assign the literal hello. Now TypeScript has a choice to either infer that foo will always be a literal hello, or it can be any string. Inferring a string is most likely the correct answer in the majority of the code bases out there. So TypeScript infers a string, allowing you to assign different strings to this variable. If you did want a literal type only for this, you can do that by adding an explicit type annotation. For example, we can say that foo must always either be the literal hello or the literal world. So if you try to assign something else to it, you get an error. And TypeScript even provides autocomplete in this case, only giving you the valid values that are supported. This is exactly what is happening in our above example. Here we declared a variable. We didn't add any type annotation, so TypeScript infers that align can be a string. And therefore, over here we have the error that string is not assignable to these literal values. Now if you want to help TypeScript, one way to do that is to add an explicit annotation, and once we do that, the error goes away. Another way to help TypeScript infer that align should always be the literal center, we can add an explicit type assertion, for example, center as center. Therefore, align is inferred as the literal center, and variable align property becomes center, which is something that can be assigned to something that has a align property of center, left, or right. So in short, if you ever experience an error where TypeScript is complaining about something being a string or a number where you actually expected a literal, your two options are to add an explicit type annotation or an assertion for that particular literal member. And the reason why this occurs is because TypeScript tries to be as supportive of the code bases out there without being overly strict and disruptive in your workflow. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Take care. Bye.